Ames, Iowa, and Ames High School. Home to one of the most historic high school track and field programs anywhere in the country. With a foundational support system built by two of the most iconic and successful high school track coaches in Iowa history, Hy Covey and John Sletten. 51 years ago, a young, competitive 37-year-old coach with deep Minnesota roots was lured to Ames by his predecessor, Hy Covey, to build on the already dominant Ames boys track program. 41 years later, and a list of accomplishments that are the envy of all and a realistic goal of very few, we sit here and reminisce on what may have been the most successful coaching career of all time, not only in track and field, but in any sport. 9 outdoor state championships, plus an additional 8 state runner-up finishes. 8 indoor state championships, 5 cross-country state championships, 41 conference championships, and 54 state meet event champions. We will always remember the titles, the records, and the pure dominance that is evident in the record books that are littered with the 4-letter word, Ames. But today, and forever, we remember the more important accomplishments, the importance of athletics, the importance of competing, the importance of the coach-athlete relationship, and the importance of John Sletten.
Hey everyone, Dave Knight here. I was blessed with the opportunity to be a part of the Iowa Class 4A State Track and Field Championship team of 86, 87, 88, and 89. This wouldn't have been possible without you, Coach. I didn't only view you as my track and field coach, I also viewed you as my life coach as well. The lessons that you passed on to me are those that I'm going to carry for the rest of my life. You will be missed. I love you, but you will not be forgotten.
I'd like to extend my sincere condolences to the Sletten family. I'm sorry I can't be there today for this wonderful celebration of his life, but I wanted you to know that he was a special man, special coach, special person in my life. I've known him since 1980, coached many of his phenomenal athletes. What a wonderful legacy he's left, and I just thank you so much for sharing him with us. We're gonna miss him, but you know, his legacy lives on. Rest in peace, Coach Sletten.
My greatest admiration for Coach was his sincere desire for all runners to have the opportunity to compete. He gained the most satisfaction from JV runners achieving a personal record or performing above what he himself thought they were capable of doing. It was Coach's sincere desire as well for us to compete hard and work each and every day to be the best that we could possibly be.
A little weird to be doing this in South Carolina where it's currently 85 degrees because this tradition would always happen on the coldest, rainiest, wettest, windiest day of the year. I had to make my own little dirty towel drill that all the hurdlers would recognize. I have a little South Carolina pluff mud. I've got some other things. I'm not sure what they are. As a true dirty towel tradition, we'd have this hung over the hurdle, and you had to get over the hurdle and under this. One of Coach Sletten's favorites.
Coach Sletten, thanks for being such an amazing coach during all those 4 years in high school. You made me better every single year, albeit with some weird workouts. That towel drill, that's definitely going to live in infamy, but it's an endearing memory, and I thank you for all those years and the friendships that we had since. So appreciate it. Gonna miss you, JS.
Hello, and know that we all appreciate Coach Sletten's talented and never-ending dedication to his students, student athletes, and the sport of track and field for Ames High and the state of Iowa. To the Slettens, my condolences for your loss, and may the Lord's peace be with you.
As a teacher and a coach, his dedication and success literally impacted thousands of students, athletes, parents, and colleagues. That quality alone makes his life of servant leadership worthy of our highest admiration and celebration.
Coach, Your life deserves to be celebrated. You had more than a meaningful impact on my life, and I appreciate that. My time with you in the classroom and on the track are very special to me. You'll be missed, and your track workouts will never be forgotten.
The past few weeks have been difficult for all of us, but I must share at this time that as I visited with John during that very difficult time, it was very evident that John's strong faith strengthened all of us. I have the greatest respect for John as a coach and as a personal friend. As a coach, John was very demanding, not only of his athletes, but also of himself. There were no shortcuts. Fundamentals, hard work, a detailed plan for success, and a commitment to the task at hand were the keys to his success. Some athletes might have thought he was too demanding, but later in life, most would realize that he was teaching life skills they would use well after Ames High. John often closed the team meeting before a big meet by telling the team in his own words, "Guys, let's get the job done." He modeled that statement in how he coached, and I think we all would agree today that John, in life, got the job done. Thanks, Coach.
It's my honor as a Bobcat to give tribute to John. John and I had many great battles against each other, yet we had tremendous respect for each other. I learned so much from you, John, not only as a coach, but as a person. May God bless you.
My favorite memory was in 1991 when we won the state championship on the track, and just to see the joy. He was a very stoic man, a very analytical man, very serious. But when we won that state championship that year, to share that moment, but to be up in the crowd, I remember sitting right in front of him, and we were running the 4x4, and to see John Barnett go by Tim DeWhite to beat Iowa City High, I think there was always a little something extra when we were able to compete and beat that team from over on that side of the state. But just to see the joy and to share that moment with Coach Sletten, I believe 9 state championships, over a 40-year career, one of the most decorated coaches in the history of the state, and many of the things that he taught us, discipline, relationship building, all those things. Now that I'm a coach, I try to instill those same things into my players. So again, my condolences to Coach Sletten's family. It was an honor and a privilege, and thank you very much.
When I became a head track coach, I modeled my program after John's. For years, we were fierce, but also friendly rivals. Recently, things have come full circle, as now the 80-something-year-old assistant coach has helped to mentor the 20-something-year-old head coach at Ames High School, my son. I will always proudly say that I ran for John Sletten on some of those great Ames track teams. The incredible thing is that I'm just one of literally thousands that can make that statement. Rest in peace, Coach. The meet is finally over, and you won again.
Well, John Sletten was definitely one of the most respected coaches in the state of Iowa. He won as many championships as any coach ever has in the state. And I had 2 sons that ran for John. John just set very high standards for the whole squad, for the whole team. And it's apparent with the success that they had and the great number of victories and championships that John won while at Ames High School.
For almost 40 years, Coach Sletten has been my coach, my mentor, one of my assistant coaches, and a longtime friend. Coach Sletten always taught me to believe in myself. He always pushed me harder than anybody to make me succeed, and the passion he had to win drove every team he coached, and that passion spilled over into me and was a great part of the success that I had, both at Ames High and at Iowa State. Thank you, Coach Sletten, for always believing in me and everybody you coached. You will forever be missed, and your spirit will live forever. Ames High, Ames High.
What I remember most now are the postgraduate discussions that I had with him on a cross-country course or a track, or most likely in his living room, where he'd always want to get caught up on how we were doing and our families are doing and our teammates were doing. But then we'd of course always get into some long discussions and analysis of the past track meets and seasons that we had together. So really going to miss those talks, and I'm really going to miss him.
There's no way to sum up what Coach Sletten meant to my life in 15 or 20 seconds. We'd need at least the time it takes to run 24 200s, or 16 quarters, or 12 half-mile repeats.
I'll always remember Coach Sletten for his competitiveness, his will to win, and his ability to instill confidence and courage in athletes like myself.
In the fall of 1983, I met John at my first girls cross-country practice as head coach. He extended his warm welcome to me as a mentor as I began my coaching tenure at Ames High. We quickly became colleagues and developed a long-lasting friendship. We had a love of distance running and, more importantly, our families, which we talked about frequently. For the next 35 years, we shared a seat together on the buses going to cross-country meets. We had wonderful conversations about coaching, student athletes, and I'll miss that the most. John loved working in his workshop and had a passion for sailing. I hope you get to do both now. I love you and I miss you greatly.
Coach Sletten had a knack for pushing you to the limits that you didn't even know you had, like running 13 800-meter repeats. That actually happened. And he expected that every day we showed up wanting to be better than the day before. And it was an honor to be able to run for Ames High School, and it's an honor to be able to say that I had Coach Sletten as my coach. So Coach, thanks for helping me to find my limits, and thank you for your time and your passion.
Always remember 3 things about Coach Sletten. Number 1, passion. You meet this man for 10 seconds, you felt exactly what I'm talking about. Number 2, longevity. Both his coaching career and his marriage were both vocations that lasted over 60 years. And consistency. He treated each athlete the same, simply demanding their best.
In the 44 years since I served as track team co-captain, I had many visits with Coach Sletten. Over the past 16 years, I had the pleasure of treating John and several other coaches, teachers, administrators, and their wives to some lunches and dinners in Ames. Last month, I called John twice. He was stoic and upbeat, of course. I reminded him he was an icon in track and cross-country coaching, that he influenced thousands of young athletes and students, and that I love him and Liz. Ames High, because of leaders like John Sletten.
The one thing I'll always remember about John is he liked to practice in all kinds of weather. Didn't matter if it was snowing sideways or lightning. And I think it was a good thing. It made his kids compete better. And we're all gonna miss John. For me, probably miss arguing about politics with John.
One thing that's been consistent over the last 50 years here at Ames High School is John Sletten, especially here on this track, from mid-February to late May. You always knew where you were going to find him, no matter what the weather, and with no excuses. I learned a lot from him from nearly 30 years, and I'll miss him.
Coach, what a journey it has been. This video literally could have lasted for hours. You certainly are a special man. On behalf of our current athletes and coaches in the Ames Track and Field program, we extend our deepest condolences to the Sletten family. I hope these past 7 years have made you proud, Coach. Ames Track and Field is back, and the power of that 4-letter word is strong again. We have reached the end of what has been one of the most unique head coach and assistant coach combinations in the history of sports, it seems like. 59 years of age separation in which the young guy was the boss. But Coach, these past 7 years have meant the world to me. Our coaching styles definitely have clashed. But through those difficult times, a mentor was formed. And through that mentorship, a friendship was made. Thanks, Coach. Now you can relax, sit back, and watch the orange over white forever.